right, so we've talked about this in different parts, but not necessarily locked in. But, Jill, you mentioned the Nick Chubb factor earlier and how Nick Chubb may have hid a lot of the Browns' warts over the last couple of seasons. When you look back at the performance we saw yesterday, we didn't see Deonta Foreman, by the way. I'm not sure if he was dressed. Did he not dress?
He
Jason?
was. I think they brought him in at one point, but he didn't get a touch.
0 carries, no touches.
Yeah.
I know they've told us they're going away from the run game. But I don't think I expected the run game to be that bad and that little of the game plan. Granted, I know they were down. They started throwing the ball a lot more in the second half.
Well, who told us that they were phasing out the running game? Who?
I think that's just the assumption you get when you bring in a new
that's an
RPO
assumption.
quarterback.
You know what happens when you assume, right?
You make an ass out of you and me.
This is an organization that, whether it's Kevin or above, forces the throw, like pushes the throw.
Yeah.
That I think we can all agree on, right?
Sure.
They emphasize the pass.
But they
didn't pay $230 million to run the ball.
Agreed, but they've never been with Kevin Stefanski overwhelmingly pass percentage team. Like they run the ball with Kevin Stefanski at a higher percentage than most teams. They're still in the top 10 in terms of run percentage. They've always been with Kevin Stefanski. They're not like, I'm not saying they're running more than they're passing. Only really Baltimore does that, or maybe Tennessee.
Man,
but they've always run the ball a decent amount. So I don't know that that's going to dramatically change here.
They didn't run it yesterday.
Well, they didn't run it well, and then they gave up on it.
Like they have.
I mean, at some point, you down big in the second half.
You have to abandon it.
They couldn't really run.
But my thing is, you never tried to establish it. At least like that.
No, that's
Zeke, he wasn't really going after it. Zeke, they wasn't saying, "Hey, we're gonna spot shadow Zeke." No, they just gave him enough carries that you had to respect it.
Yeah,
but
I think part of the problem, they got blown out. That factored in the second half, and as you've said a few times, and you're right, they were behind the stick so often early that it was hard to run. It was one of those games that just everything went wrong offensively.
I was kind of explaining this, and it's like, so there was a coach, and he was talking to other coaches at a clinic, and he says, everybody wants to sit back and throw the ball, and that's great. Like, that's the new wave to do things. He said, but if you want to throw the ball every single player, we are a predominant passing team. People don't know how difficult that is to complete and do at a high level. He's like, when you drop back, they want to run option routes. So that means you have to have all these lists of things to go correctly before you can actually say that we completed a pass and move to the next one. So you got to snap the football and not get sacked. One, you got to call out the protection, right? You can have a breakdown there. Then you're running option routes. You got to have the quarterback see the same coverage as well as the receiver see the same coverage. Then you have to throw the ball. He has to be accurate with the throw. He also has to have that guy catch the football. There's 96 things that can go wrong in trying to be a great pass team. You only need a couple of them to be a good run team. Just be honest with you. You hand the ball off, and the running back, if he don't put the ball on the ground, you can get 3 or 4 yards, and you can do it again.
Right. On the other hand, though, you're going to move the ball faster throwing the ball.
Yes.
So that's why people do it.
So,
you want to be balanced.
But you got to have a great signal caller if you want to be a predominantly passing team.
Yes.
And you got to be creative.
It does feel like it's so hard, and this is not just yesterday. This is for the last few years. Like one false start, and they're going to punt.
Done. Punt.
Like they can't overcome. And I don't want to compare it to Kansas City. Kansas City could be 3rd and 17, and you're like, oh my God.
You always expect them to get the first down.
You get bubble guts.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where the ball is. They're going to have a chance to convert. With this team, it feels like one false start. Oh, that's it. The drive's over. It's going to end in a punt. If you get to 2nd and 15, it's over.
And you know what? That's funny. We argue back and forth about whose fault it is, whatever. That right there, what you said, is a universal mechanic. That's a universal thing of Browns fans. I feel that dread. I find myself just saying, please don't hold. Please don't jump off sides, because if you do, I might as well not watch the next 2 plays. We can't get 12 yards.
And of course they have converted at times, but I would like to see, maybe I'll try and look that up.
In the Stefanski era, where
The
they rank in
Stefanski
third
era.
and 10 plus.
Well, not even third, second. How many times? Second and 15. How many times do you convert, and then what's the league average on that?
Yeah,
I'd be really
where
curious
do
to
the
see.
Browns in the Stefanski era rank
Second
when
and
they're
15.
10 or more yards
On
after
second
first
down, not even third down.
Yeah, after
just
first
second
down, 10 or more yards.
Yeah.